For as long as 7-year-old Lucy could remember, she had a friend named Mr. Hoppity. He was an imaginary rabbit who lived in her closet. Lucy's parents thought it was cute, even endearing, that their daughter had such an active imagination. They often found her carrying on one-sided conversations with Mr. Hoppity, giggling and sharing secrets with her invisible friend. But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, it started innocently enough. Lucy began to mimic Mr. Hoppity's habits. She would hop around the house, her little feet leaving a trail of muddy footprints as she moved from room to room. She also insisted on setting an extra place at the dinner table, claiming it was for Mr. Hoppity. Her parents indulged her, thinking it was just a phase that would pass. But things took a darker turn. Lucy began to withdraw from her parents and other children her age. She spent more and more time alone in her room, talking to Mr. Hoppity. Her conversations became quieter, her giggles more subdued, and her drawings took on a sinister quality. She started sketching disturbing images of a rabbit-like creature with sharp teeth and menacing red eyes. Lucy's parents grew increasingly concerned. They tried to introduce her to real friends her age, but she would have none of it. Mr. Hoppity doesn't like them, she would say, her voice filled with a strange determination. One evening, Lucy's mother went to check on her daughter as she slept. To her shock, she found Lucy sitting on the floor, facing the closet, her back hunched and her eyes wide open. "Lucy, what are you doing?" her mother asked, her heart pounding. "I'm talking to Mr. Hoppity," Lucy replied in a monotone voice, not turning to look at her mother. Alarmed, her mother asked, "What kind of game, sweetheart?" Her mother reached out to gently touch her daughter's shoulder, and as she did, Lucy suddenly turned to her with a twisted grin. "Mr. Hoppity says we have to play a game now," she whispered. Lucy's eyes, devoid of their usual innocence, gleamed with a strange intensity. "A game of hide and seek," she whispered. "But Mr. Hoppity is very good at hiding." Terrified, her mother played along, desperately trying to keep her daughter calm. "Okay, sweetheart, we can play. But where is Mr. Hoppity hiding?" Lucy's eyes never left her mother's. "He's hiding inside you," she hissed. The room fell silent, save for the heavy breathing of the two figures locked in a chilling tableau. The air seemed to thicken with an unspoken menace. The next morning, Lucy's parents decided to seek professional help. They took her to a child psychologist who specialized in imaginary friend issues. The psychologist, Dr. Simmons, listened to their concerns and observed Lucy's strange behavior. "Imaginary friends are a common part of a child's development," Dr. Simmons explained. "But in some cases, they can become a source of distress. It's important to understand why Lucy has created Mr. Hoppity and what role he plays in her life." Over several sessions, Lucy slowly revealed more about Mr. Hoppity. She described how he told her to do things, like hide sharp objects under her bed and play dangerous games. Dr. Simmons was deeply concerned and decided to consult with his colleagues. They reached a troubling conclusion. Mr. Hoppity was not a typical imaginary friend, but rather a manifestation of Lucy's deep-seated psychological issues. The treatment plan was set in motion, and Lucy's parents were relieved to have professional help. Dr. Simmons explained that they would need to work together to dissociate Lucy from Mr. Hoppity and address the underlying emotional and psychological issues that had given rise to this disturbing imaginary friend. As weeks turned into months, Lucy underwent therapy and began to slowly distance herself from Mr. Hoppity. The rabbit's influence waned as Lucy's bond with her parents grew stronger. The dark drawings and sinister games gave way to brighter, happier activities. Lucy's laughter returned, along with her ability to make real friends. One day, Lucy was sitting on the swings at the local playground, surrounded by her new friends, when her mother approached. She watched with a smile as her daughter laughed and played, free from the sinister influence of Mr. Hoppity. The nightmare that had haunted their family was finally coming to an end. But as Lucy swung higher and higher, her mother couldn't shake the feeling that something was still watching, waiting in the shadows, biding its time. The sinister influence of Mr. Hoppity might have been quelled, but the memory of his malevolent presence would forever haunt their family. A reminder of the darkness that could lurk within even the most innocent of imaginations.